There we go. Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I got a bunch of movies to review today. I've been watching a whole bunch of movies. I thought, I'd do it. I was gonna do that last night, but the Silent Life one, I didn't finish all Megalodon Rising, and then when I did, Grandma Ducky was up with the live, so I wanted to make sure to do this. And what happened was on Facebook, my good friend Angie from New Jersey told me Megalodon Rising's on Amazon. Well, what happened was I have a new Roku and I need to get the information, put that back on the Roku, but I saw it on YouTube. Now, this was another attempt by the Asylum after the Sharknado movies, after the sixth one. They come back trying to make shark movies, and so far they failed with both Shark Season and Swim, which were incredibly boring. Shark Season was so, I saw a Swim, but Shark Season was so boring. I just shut up. I couldn't make it through the whole thing. It was just so, I just couldn't do it. Now, next is Megalodon Rising. It was like a sequel to the movie Megalodon. We're all on the ship and Tom Sizemore's in it, and that was pretty good. I liked that one. This one, I don't know what happened. I think they recycled a whole bunch of stuff. They only used a couple of characters in the movie, and they had there was only in a couple rooms of the ship. Now the rooms of the ship look convincing and stuff. Tom Sizemore kind of in it, but they played it completely serious. It had like the Chinese and stuff like that are supposed to be fighting them, and they have like the thing with the sharks attacking and stuff. And none of it works. It's just like there's recycled material. And they show like they talk about sharks doing stuff, but a lot of it's shown off screen, and then they have stuff like a shark on this what do you call it? Aircraft carrier on this one ship. You know what I mean? And that would have been really cool, but there's no excitement behind it, and they just show it. They don't really show anything that happens and stuff like that. I think they reused a whole bunch of. I think it's really pretty bad because I really liked the first Megalodon. I thought it was fun. They didn't even try to have any jokes in it because there were jokes in the other one that made it worthwhile. Tom Sizemore was still good in it though, but he pretty much didn't do a whole lot. And then he was in the summary say, "Hey, we fixed everything," and then like no one heard him. And like, "Yay, no one heard a thing he damn said." So, Sal, I'm dedicating this video to my friend Angie from New Jersey because she was kind of telling me it was on. Thank you very much for telling me it was on. I wouldn't have known. Maybe I would have known eventually, but I wouldn't have known right away. But I have to give it a very mild 2 out of 10. Now, the next movie I saw, the shark movie called Bigfoot versus Megalodon. I think I saw this on Tubi TV. And I'll tell you why I couldn't make it through. I couldn't make it through the movie. Because what happened was, it's like they didn't they're trying to make it's a computer animated movie, right? They showed the shark. Shark kind of looked like Shark and Suicide Squad. He pretty much looked a lot like that. But and he's supposed to be a bad guy. Bigfoot's a good guy. But it's all like, everything they filmed was unconvincing. It looked really, really. I don't mind bad CGI, but the way they did it, it was just so uninvolved. It's like, oh my god, if I watch that, it's gonna give me a headache. I think I watched 10 minutes. I gave up on it. It was just terrible. That's like headache inducing right there. Now I give. Oh hell, what was it? I give Bigfoot versus Megalodon a point. Well, 0 out of 10. I couldn't watch it because it gave me a headache. It was gonna give me a headache. Now next is a movie called Post-Apocalyptic Commando Sharks. I watched this today on Tubi. No, no, no. This was on Plex. I saw this on Plex. And now this was entertaining. Now this was like a low budget movie where they just had they had a bunch of weaponry, but they just did special effects showing like the muzzle flash and stuff like that. CGI. So there's no incident with blanks or anything like that. And it was very low, but they talk about the Germans, no, the Russians were making these experiments, turning men into zombies, into sharks. And basically, sharks just had like a paper mache head on them. And they would bite your neck or kill you like that. It was really fake. Debbie Rochon's in it. Now, this is one that's a lot of fun. It's really fun and silly. There's a talking dog in it. Lots of experiments and stuff, and it's just goofy. There's a spider puppet. Not spider, shark puppet in there. And they actually blew up the shark really large. You'll see a picture of the shark blown up really large right here, coming up. Let me see, 5, 4. Yeah, right there. That guy's holding a kitty, right? It's just a puppet. It was really entertaining. I liked it. It didn't really have a super cohesive plot. As far as I was concerned, it's just a bunch of different skits, in a form of a movie. In 82 minutes, it might have ran a little long, but wait, so let me see if I can get this on tape. Oh no, no, it don't. Well, maybe I heard. I don't know. It was very entertaining. It just like maybe it was a little bit too long. So I give that 8 out of 10. I was very entertaining though. Now next is a movie I've been wanting to see for a long time. I usually not the best as far as remakes is concerned. I don't think most people are, you know. But with remakes and stuff, what the hell was I gonna say? Yeah, most remakes suck, but a remake called Going in Style. I remember as a kid, I think I saw it. I saw some of it, but Dad hated George Burns, so we weren't allowed to watch George Burns because my dad hated him, right? And George Burns, Art Carney, and May Burns Meredith, the old timers trying to rob a bank, right? Well, this is a remake of it with Alan Arkin, Michael Caine, you told me right there, and Morgan Freeman. I've been wanting to see this for a while. This came out in 2017, right? And I started looking around. Well, I forgot about it. I started looking around. It was on Netflix. Hell, I'm watching this, and it's very entertaining, very lightweight, very entertaining. I give that a. Well, the acting and Michael Caine's so good in it. I give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Now, the last movie is a movie called Private Lessons, right? Now, Private Lessons is a sex comedy from 81 or 82 that actually did really successful, right? Did really successful. At the time, because it was on the Dogs a Week on Cisco Near. It said at the time, it's been made like $20 million, and that's big back in '82. I probably have $1 million budget or something like that, right? And what happened was I saw it. Well, first of all, the movie was impossible to find. I couldn't find any video rental stores, anything, anywhere. Couldn't find it anywhere. Then came out of '82. I've been wanting to see it. I'm kind of a completist when it comes to the '80s slasher films and '80s like teenage sex comedies. You know what I mean? Some are good, some are lousy. That's the way it goes. But just try to do it because that's '80s, like drive-in '80s. You know what I mean? The two very popular things that, well, you still see them around, though, but not as prevalent as it was before, right? And I looked all over and all over and all over. And then when I went to Germany, I was in not Linderhof, Germany, which is like a off post. It is a self-contained post, self-contained little thing. It wasn't much to it, right? I think it was like two buildings, one giant barracks, and it was so secluded it had like its own PX inside, right? And there's a big fence. They lock they I mean that that they open and close, right? Guarding the base, right? And there's like it was world famous in Germany. It's the only and out back was the communication center. But I was there for PLL 10, like inventory type thing. It was a communication center, the only place in Germany guarded by guard dogs. It's world famous, right? They actually did a story in the paper about that, in a German paper, Army Times or something like that. They did a story about it. I got keys to the break room, right? For the what? Whoa, what happened? Okay, for the break room. I gotta take my hand off that stuff. All right. Got keys to the break room. It had like, I pretty much was in charge of the break room, and it had like a VHS and TV in there, and then someone had a bunch of movies on VHS. One of them was Private Lessons, so I finally got to see the damn thing. I really enjoyed it. I didn't remember anything from the movie except that one kid was talking about boobs, and one fat kid said, "What you do with boobs? You grab me and you squeeze." Like, that's the only thing I remember from the movie. I thought it was funny. Now, I saw it once. Now, when I got out of the Army in 92, 93, there was a movie called Private Lessons 2. I thought, I want to see this on Cinemax. And it was an in-name only sequel. And it was about a girl in Japan wanting to be a rock star. That show sucked. I think my dad gave it 10 minutes. And then he said, I don't want to see this shit no more. I gave it 20 minutes. This sucks. But I did give it a chance. And ever since I've been wanting to see Private Lessons again. I mean, it's been, I saw it in 80, wait a second, in 88. It's been a long time. I wanted to see it again. And I had a hell of a time finding it anywhere. I mean, it was on YouTube, but it was in another language, right? And I was looking, and it was on Tubi TV. I should have known. It was on Tubi TV. I saw it, and I enjoyed it. And what it was is it had Sylvia Christie in it from Emmanuel. I never saw the Emmanuel, but I had Howard Hessman. That's the guy I really recognized. And the guy who played the gardener, he was recognizable too. I don't know who his name was. It's about these two rich kids, right? And one was having the main guy, and then his friend that was kind of heavy. Like around 15, 16, right? And this one girl's trying to seduce him so she can. Well, his dad was out of town. The one maid that Sylvia Chris trying to seduce him, and then end up in like some blackmail plot for $10,000. Doesn't seem like much money. And that one kid looked really familiar. I couldn't place his face or not like that. One IMDb. He was in Mama's Family. He was Junior in Mama's Family. Because you remember there was a certain cast when Mama's Family first came out, and then it just had Bubba. But it had like the two that one kid, Junior, I think was in the first. The younger kids in the movie, not young, but him, like teenager. And then I think later on they went to Bubba. Then whenever it wasn't on NBC anymore, but back when it was on NBC, he was on Mama's Family. Well, anyways, yeah, it was very entertaining, very funny. I mean, whenever the whole thing about the subplot came down, the thriller part of the movie, it was really. He said it was preposterous. It really was silly that kid. I was like, oh come on, he can't fall for that. But it was very entertaining. I really enjoyed the movie. It was a lot of fun. I give that a I give that a 9 out of 10 too. So I mean, I hope you really enjoyed this giant movie review I did, and I have a bunch of shark photos and stuff. I'm gonna let this go a little bit. I'll show you there's a screenshot of Private Lessons in here too. I'll show you what Private Lessons looks like, and then I'll probably just end the video. But it was cool. I had fun. I mean, Megalodon Rising was a complete disappointment. It seemed like I don't know what the asylum's doing anymore. I mean, it's not like they've tried, and they played too serious. I mean, with that Post-Apocalyptic Commando shark movie, that was funny, even though on a microscopic budget. But I mean, the way they filmed that computer animated thing on the cheap, it just like the action didn't look right, and it would have just gave me a headache. And they positioned a lot of characters the same way. And a lot of times their mouths weren't moving, and it just was totally unconvincing. It's like, I'm not going to be able to watch this without getting a headache. And then going in style, like I said, I'm a big Michael Caine fan. Morgan Freeman, that's a great movie. Oh, and Anne Margaret's in it. And Aunt Margaret still is attractive. I mean, this kid, she's still attractive. This is a scene from Parallel to two guy and girl kids said, "What happened to him should happen to you." Oh, should happen to you. Oh, I said, "Well, it could. I should happen to you." What, are you going to get blackmailed? Because of the blackmail play is so silly, though. So I hope you like this movie review, everybody. Till next time, everybody, please take care of my legion. All right, good. You stop.